On September 20th, 2025, the province of Phetchabun woke to a nightmare. After days of relentless rainfall, the Lom Sak River burst its banks, unleashing a deluge that swept through homes, schools, markets, and temples. The flood, described by officials as the worst in over a decade, has left thousands displaced, infrastructure crippled, and a region grappling with the consequences of systemic vulnerability. The Thai Meteorological Department had warned of heavy rainfall across northern Thailand, but few anticipated the scale of devastation that would follow. Between 17 to 20 September, Phetchabun recorded over 300 millimeters of rainfall, nearly triple its monthly average. The mountainous terrain, already saturated, funneled water into the Lom Sak and Pung rivers, pushing them beyond capacity. At approximately 2:45 a.m. local time, a critical section of the Lom Sak River embankment near Lom Sak district collapsed. Within minutes, floodwaters surged into residential zones, government buildings, and commercial centers. The speed and force of the water left little time for evacuation. It was like the river exploded, said Pakpum Pumi, Lom Sak's district chief. We had no time to warn anyone. The water was already inside homes before the sirens could sound. The flood has displaced over 6,000 residents across Lom Sak, Lom Kao, Nam Nao, and Nong Phai districts. Emergency shelters have been set up in temples, schools, and municipal halls. Rescue teams continue to focus on moving the most vulnerable, children, elderly, and bedridden patients from inundated areas. 500-plus households affected in Lom Sak alone. 6 villages in Lom Kao suffered severe damage, with losses estimated at 100 million, $2.7 million US. 5 schools closed, disrupting education for over 2,000 students. 3 fatalities reported, including a 19-year-old man who drowned while paddling a rescue boat in Phetchabun. We lost our home, our crops, everything. But we're alive, said Rung Napa Thongdi, a farmer from Ban Takloi. The river took everything, but the community saved us. The flood has devastated critical infrastructure. Highway 21, the main artery connecting Phetchabun to central Thailand, was blocked by landslides and submerged under 1.2 meters of water. For bridges destroyed, including the historic wooden bridge at Ban Sila, electricity and water supply disrupted in 23 villages, affecting over 15,000 residents. The Provincial Electricity Authority deployed mobile generators, while the Department of Highways began emergency repairs. However, access to remote areas remains limited, and communication lines are down in several zones. Thailand's Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, DDPM, activated its Level 3 emergency protocol, dispatching rescue teams, amphibious vehicles, and medical units. The Royal Thai Army's 3rd Infantry Division joined efforts, airlifting supplies and conducting search and rescue operations. Local volunteers, monks, and youth groups mobilized to distribute food, blankets, and hygiene kits. Social media platforms like Line and Facebook became lifelines for coordination, with residents sharing real-time updates and calls for help. We are working around the clock to reach isolated areas and provide relief, said Colonel Prasert Chayafam, leading the military response. Experts argue that the flood was not merely a natural event but a consequence of systemic neglect. The Lom Sak River embankments, built in the early 1990s, had not undergone significant reinforcement in over a decade. Local officials had previously flagged concerns about erosion and structural fatigue, but budget constraints delayed repairs. Deforestation in upstream catchment areas reduced soil absorption capacity. Urban expansion along floodplains increased runoff and pressure on drainage systems. Lack of early warning systems left communities vulnerable to sudden breaches. This was a disaster waiting to happen, said Dr. Natapong Srijuan, a hydrologist at Chulalongkorn University. We need to rethink how we manage rivers and protect communities. In Ban Sila, a group of teenagers formed a human chain to rescue a disabled neighbor trapped in her home. At Wat Phra Lom Sak, monks waded through chest-deep water to deliver food to stranded families. One viral video shows a local teacher carrying students on his back through floodwaters to safety. Another captures a farmer releasing his livestock, choosing their survival over his financial loss. We lost everything, but we're alive. That's what matters, said Nak Supansa, whose home was destroyed but who managed to save her 3 children. The road to recovery will be long and arduous. Preliminary estimates suggest damages exceeding $300 million, $8.2 million US. The provincial government has pledged emergency funds and is coordinating with national agencies for reconstruction. Governor Wirat Phongchai has called for a comprehensive review of embankment safety across the province and the establishment of community-based early warning systems. Let this be a turning point, not just for Phetchabun, but for all of Thailand's vulnerable districts, he said. A flash flood and landslide warning has been issued for 9 districts in Phetchabun province following heavy and continuous rainfall. The Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, DDPM, is using a nationwide cell broadcast system to alert residents to the impending danger. The warning, sent today, urges residents in at-risk areas, including those along streams, canals, and in low-lying and hillside regions, to immediately move their belongings to higher ground. The DDPM also advised residents to closely monitor official news and take extra care of vulnerable individuals, such as the elderly and bedridden patients. The 9 districts under the emergency alert are Nam Nao, Lom Kao, Lom Sak, Khao Kho, Wang Pong, Nong Phai, Wichian Buri, Chon Daen, and Mueang Phetchabun. In a separate alert, the DDPM confirmed that the Pasak River is at risk of overflowing its banks in the Lom Kao and Lom Sak districts. Water levels at 2 key monitoring stations are rising continuously, threatening areas along the river and in low-lying sub-districts, including Lom Sak municipality. Residents have been advised to take preventative measures, such as building flood barriers and moving valuables. The DDPM is collaborating with mobile network providers AIS, True, and NT to ensure the urgent messages reach all residents in the affected areas. Citizens can report incidents and request assistance via the DDPM Report 1784 line account or by calling the 24-hour hotline at 1784.